The coldest parts of the refrigerator are not ideal for the growth of all kinds of foods. In point of fact, when certain foods are kept in the refrigerator, they might lose their flavor, texture, and nutritional value. It is possible to ensure that particular foods keep their highest possible quality and flavor when it comes time to consume them if you have a thorough awareness of the ideal circumstances under which they should be stored. In today's video, we will discuss 7 foods that should not be stored in the refrigerator. So now let's get started. Number 1. Garlic. It is not recommended to store garlic in the refrigerator because doing so can cause it to sprout. Both the flavor and the consistency of garlic are altered when it is refrigerated because it fosters the development of green shoots. Mold begins to grow as a result of the cold and wet climate, which has a negative impact on the garlic's overall quality. Further, the flavor that is characteristic of garlic can be diminished when it is refrigerated. As a result of the natural sugars in garlic being converted into starches by cold temperatures, the flavor of garlic becomes less powerful. Because of this, the fragrant properties that make garlic such a dependable ingredient in cooking are diminished. Garlic that is kept in the refrigerator may also become more moisturized. Over-wetness leads to the development of moldy or rubbery cloves, which can shorten the garlic's shelf life in addition to affecting its flavor. Garlic that is refrigerated may also absorb undesirable scents from other foods that are nearby. Because of its porous surface, garlic can absorb tastes from other foods in the refrigerator. This may weaken the garlic's unique flavor and reduce its appeal in a variety of recipes. Number 2. Potatoes. Potato starch can be converted into sugar when exposed to cold temperatures, which causes changes in both flavor and texture. In order to preserve the natural flavor of potatoes, it is suggested that they be stored in a cold and dark location. Furthermore, when potatoes are cooked at high temperatures, an additional chemical known as acrylamide can be produced as a result of cooling. Acrylamide, which has the potential to cause cancer, is generated more easily in potatoes that have been stored at a colder temperature. A reduction in this risk can be achieved by maintaining them at room temperature. Furthermore, potatoes that have been refrigerated have a higher moisture content, which encourages the growth of bacteria. For a longer shelf life, potatoes need a dry atmosphere. Too much moisture can hasten deterioration and give off bad smells. Additionally, potatoes' enzymes may be adversely affected by the refrigerator's chilly air, hastening their degradation. Potatoes stored outside of the refrigerator retain more of these enzymes, which improve the cooked potatoes' freshness and flavor. Because starch turns into sugar when potatoes are refrigerated, they may also get a grainy texture. Number 3. Tomatoes. In order to have the best possible flavor and consistency, tomatoes should not be stored in the refrigerator. The natural sweetness of tomatoes is diminished when they are exposed to cold temperatures, resulting in a tasteless product. Additionally, the cold causes a change in texture, which results in tomatoes becoming mealy. Because the delicate balance of enzymes that are responsible for their taste is disrupted, tomatoes that are refrigerated do not have the same juicy and vivid flavor as tomatoes that are stored at room temperature. Furthermore, like tropical fruits, tomatoes are susceptible to the cold. The ripening process is hampered by cold storage, which keeps the fruits from developing to their maximum flavor potential. Their flavor is enhanced by ripening naturally at room temperature. Refrigeration has an impact on tomatoes' nutritional composition in addition to taste. Antioxidants like lycopene, which are abundant in these crimson marvels, can be depleted by cold weather, depriving you of their health benefits. Tomatoes should be kept at room temperature in a fruit bowl or on the counter. To preserve their freshness and stop moisture loss, keep them stem side down. It's acceptable to refrigerate ripe produce if you're not ready to consume it, but for optimal flavor, return it to room temperature before serving. Number 4. Onions. There are many reasons why onions should not be stored in the refrigerator. To begin, the moisture that is present in the refrigerator can cause onions to become mushy and encourage the growth of mold. Instead of a cold and moist environment, onions prefer a cool and dry one. Onion flavor and texture are also altered when exposed to cold temperatures. Refrigeration causes starches to be converted into sugars, which results in an onion that is sweeter. The onion's original flavor profile is diminished, and its versatility for a variety of culinary applications is reduced as a result of this decision, which may sound appealing. Another issue is the absorption of odors. In the small space of a refrigerator, onions can easily absorb the smells of their surroundings, which might result in an unwanted mingling of flavors. Thoughts of onion-infused fruit or onion-flavored ice cream don't exactly seem delicious. Refrigeration also promotes sprouting. Onions kept at cooler temperatures have a tendency to sprout faster, reducing their shelf life. Onions that have sprouted might still be edible, but their flavor and texture might be inferior. Refrigeration might seem like the sensible option if you've chopped an onion and want to save the leftovers. You run the danger of having leftovers that taste like onions. Therefore, it's important to remember that chopped onions should always be kept in an airtight container to keep them from collecting refrigerator aromas. Number 5. Bread. Putting bread in the refrigerator is frequently unproductive. Stalling occurs more quickly when bread is stored in the refrigerator. The starch in bread crystallizes more quickly when it is exposed to cold temperatures, which results in a texture that is dry and rough. Moisture is the inevitable adversary of bread. The humidity that is introduced by refrigeration causes your loaf to get soggy. Bread is like a sponge, soaking up scents from the environment around it, and the refrigerator is another flavor destroyer. It is possible that storing it with other objects will cause it to smell and taste weird. To maintain its authentic flavor, you should not store it in the refrigerator. The chilly environment does not stop the aging process. Rather, it merely changes the way it occurs. Mold growth is slowed down by the refrigerator, but the retrogradation of starch is sped up, which causes the bread to get stale more quickly when it is returned to room temperature. In the event that you do not anticipate finishing the loaf in the near future, freezing is the superior solution. Place the slices in a bag that is sealed and freeze them. By freezing, the aging process can be halted without affecting the texture or flavor of the product. Thaw at room temperature before consuming when you are ready to eat. Number 6. Avocados. Avocados are another type of food that should be stored at room temperature rather than in the refrigerator. It slows down the process of ripening them and changes both their texture and flavor when they are refrigerated. As a result of the chilly temperatures, the enzyme activity that is responsible for ripening is slowed down, which causes avocados to remain frozen and unripe. Avocados ripen naturally when they are allowed to remain at room temperature, which results in the development of that velvety feel that we all adore. Because the cold can reduce the amount of volatile molecules that are responsible for the flavor, cold storage also has the effect of dulling the flavor. Avocados are special fruits that continue to ripen after harvest. This process is disrupted by refrigeration, which lowers the quality of the food. The avocado's exterior may brown in the cold, but the avocado may still be underripe inside. Avocados can ripen to the perfect consistency by being kept on the counter. Because they are sensitive to moisture as well, avocados are potentially exposed to moisture buildup when refrigerated. This dampness can cause rotting and the formation of mold. Avocados should be kept at room temperature and in a dry environment to avoid this. To preserve their best flavor and texture, utilize ripe avocados within a few days of harvesting. If you have avocados that aren't going to be eaten right away, you may store them in the refrigerator to slow down the ripening process. Number 7. Bananas. The tropical fruit known as bananas possesses a number of distinctive qualities that make them more suitable for storage at room temperature. Bananas, to begin, do best in temperatures that are higher. By causing the cell walls of the fruit to degrade, refrigeration can cause the skin to turn brown and alter the texture of the fruit. A change in flavor and a texture that is less attractive are the results of the ripening process being disrupted by cold temperatures. Furthermore, fruits that are vulnerable to ethylene are bananas. When fruits and vegetables that release ethylene are placed in the refrigerator, the ripening process can accelerate unevenly. As so, the fruit's entire quality is compromised, with a ripe exterior and an underripe core. Banana's flavor character is also affected by refrigeration. The enzymes responsible for developing their sweet flavor are suppressed by the chilly environment. You can enjoy the full natural sweetness of bananas at room temperature, as these enzymes function at their best in that state. Bananas have a high nutritional value since they contain several important elements. Nutrient loss can occur via refrigeration, especially when it comes to antioxidants and other essential substances. Bananas should ideally be kept dry and cool to optimize their health advantages. It is clear that not all foods are able to flourish in the colder sections of our refrigerator. By gaining an understanding of the optimal storage location for each item, one may ensure that they maintain their flavor and nutritional content. Storage that is done correctly can improve the quality of your food, whether you are putting honey in the cupboard or tomatoes on the tabletop. Therefore, Make sure that you provide the ideal environment for each, and your taste senses will be grateful to you. Have you found this video helpful? Please click the like button and subscribe to our channel so that you may watch further videos that are similar to this one. We appreciate you watching. We are committed to ensuring your health.